Fighting like a girl takes on a whole new meaning. What's up, guys? This is Far From Blake, and today we are talking about Ballerina from the world of John Wick. We are tapping in more into the John Wick universe with this spin-off Ballerina starring Ana de Armas, or is it Ana de Armas? I'm not entirely sure. I always thought it was Ana de Armas, but I've been hearing a lot of people say Ana recently. So comment down below which one it is. It's 1 for Ana de Armas or 2 for Ana de Armas. If it's Ana, type 1 for Ana and type 2 for Ana if it's Anna. I've heard lots of people use Ana for the longest time. Recently people say Anna, and I try to watch videos of her saying it herself, and it feels like she says something different every single time. So I do not know. Now I'm going to try not to get into super duper spoilers, but if you haven't seen the movie and you want to avoid all spoilers, I would advise to subscribe, come back later, and watch this review after you have watched the movie. I'm going to try to give some spoiler warnings when we get heavy in the details. We'll see. You have been warned regardless. I advise you to watch this video after you see the movie. This movie was oozing with style. From start to finish, I thought just the cinematography and the visuals and the color, that is something that the John Wick movies have really been known for, is being vibrant, colorful, and just have a really cool aesthetic to them. Ana de Armas picks up as the character Eve. This is a continuation of John Wick 3. This movie is set place in the world of John Wick 3 and after the events of John Wick 3, I believe. It definitely has some parts of the movie where it takes you right into the action of what kind of happened in John Wick 3, the parallels, and events clearly afterwards. And to cut right to the chase, I thought this movie was awesome. I thought it was really fun. It was really action-packed. It is semi-slow in the beginning. The first 30, 40 minutes, it's trying to build out the world and make you understand the roots of this character, Eve, and the significance and the importance of why she has her own movie. But once you really get into the nitty-gritty and it becomes like the story unpacks, this movie takes you back to the basics, kind of like John Wick 1, where it is a vengeance storyline where Eve, her character, lost her father at a young age and later is being trained by that ballerina camp. If you've seen John Wick 3, if you haven't seen the John Wick movies before this movie, don't know what you're doing. You have to watch at least the first 3 in order to understand this movie, kinda. And with that said, she gets trained through all this stuff, and then she learns about the mark that of the people that killed her father, and she goes on a hunt to find who they are and to kill them. And once that part of the movie starts, it does not slow down. The action is so cool. It is so elite. It, like I said, it is very on par with the John Wick movies. A lot of skepticism behind this being made is like, what is the point of this? She's not going to be able to live up to John Wick. These movies aren't going to live up to John Wick. It's not even really the same director, even though I learned after the movie that the original director did come in later in time to help with the action sequences, which explains why it was so good. But I actually think it was genius casting Ana de Armas as a female lead to take us into this world, because I think if you do a spin-off with a male lead, it's almost like they're never going to live up to John Wick's hype and his coolness. Keanu Reeves is just the embodiment of cool, and how are you going to live up to that? So if you take a female lead, it adds a different spice, a different dynamic, and a different flavor to root for. So you're not really comparing her character to John Wick. It's its own fresh new thing, but since it's in the John Wick universe, you're still tapping into that in a unique and fresh way. And this movie sets very clear early on that Eve is a smaller character, a weaker character, even to other females, not just to someone like John Wick, who's like supposedly like a 6'1" man who's 200 pounds or whatever, right? Her training, I forget the lady's name, the head mistress of the ballerinas, she even says to her, you are smaller than everyone, you are weaker than everyone, so what are you going to do about it? Because you're not going to just lay down and die. You need to fight. And then she says, fight like a girl. And usually the term fight like a girl, some people would say, oh, like that's a bad thing to say. in this movie they embrace that in a unique and cool and fresh way to where it's like, okay, I'm weaker than a lot of the people I'm fighting, so what am I going to do about it? And in this movie she taps into that, and she has to be a lot more creative with her surroundings, has to be a lot more vicious. So she's not afraid to low blow a guy, kick him in the nuts. She's not afraid to gouge their eyes out. She's not afraid to do whatever it takes to stay alive and to survive and to win. So with all that in mind, they really tap into that idea and with the action set pieces, and she has to use her surroundings most of the time in all the fights. Now she does show that she is highly skilled, highly trained. The first act of the movie really takes you through the arc of her learning how to fight and even her first ever initial mission. So you believe in that final act that she can handle her own. And the cool thing about the action in this movie is that it's different set pieces that are very distinct, that are very memorable. So that in John Wick, he does a lot of cool, crazy stuff, but you can't always point out every single thing he does. You know, in John Wick 3, he uses the horses to kill some people by kicking them, right? In this movie, you have a lot of stuff like that where there's a certain scene where she's using grenades to fight people off. In another scene, she's using a flamethrower. In another scene, she's using her surroundings. She's using plates to bash the person who's trying to kill her over the head over and over and over with the plates. Lots of cool and distinct moments. My personal favorite, as of right now, was the grenade sequences, because the thing that built up to it that was really cool for me is I like the scene where, we're getting into spoilers, obviously, if you haven't noticed at this point. Last warning. She gets into the scene where she's throwing grenades left and right, she's using her surroundings, she's getting behind walls, and there's a scene where there's this steel, like, safe door thing, and a guy breaks in, and she was able to shut the door on him, not in like the sense where it's in the other room. He's in the room, but the door is closed where he's backed in a corner, and she just tosses the grenade behind the door, and she's just holding the door, so she's standing behind the wall as the grenade's there, and you know it's about to set off, but the steel door, I guess, is grenade explosive proof, so she's safe, and they're literally within 3 inches of each other. But she was smart enough to know that this steel wall is so strong that I could throw a grenade 3 inches in front of it, or in front of me, and say, he's gonna die, and I'm gonna be good. I thought that was really fun and really creative, and shows her intelligence in knowing how to fight off all these people that are trying to kill her, because she's fighting off so many at once. And like I said, the plate sequence I thought was really, really funny, because it was just her and the other girl going back and forth, hitting each other with plates. There's a lot of really cool action sequences. This movie, like I said, lives up to John Wick standards. I need to watch the movie again to bring up all the different action sequences, but it's really well done and great job. Now, when it comes to Keanu Reeves, he is more than a cameo. I thought in the beginning of the movie that he was just going to show up in that scene where in John Wick 3 where he goes to the ballerina scene and you see her interact with him for the first time, and I thought that was going to be it, but they actually were able to pull him back into the story later in a really cool way, and it doesn't take away from Eve and her character. You still care about her more in this movie, and you still know this is her movie, and she still gets all the focal point, but it was cool to have John Wick come in, do his thing a little bit, add a little bit of a threat, a little bit of a question mark, like, oh, is he going to try to go after her? What's going to happen here? I think the way they played it out, I anticipate what was going to happen. I knew John Wick wasn't going to do that. I knew he wasn't going to actually try to kill her. I just had a feeling the way the story was, they were going to use it almost as a team up, but not really, and that's what they did. One really cool and unique twist was, I think, was when they revealed that her sister was a part of that camp. Now, do they really go anywhere with it? Not really. The sister gets killed off very quick after that, but that was a jaw-dropping moment. Like, oh snap, this is kind of crazy. Where are you going to go with this? I thought there was a lot of jaw-dropping moments. I was hyped to find out John Wick was going to be coming back and hunting her, and they're like letting him go in and do all this stuff. I just really enjoyed the movie. I gave it a 4.5 out of 5. It was really, really good. I'm excited to watch it again, honestly, and it made me hyped to rewatch John Wick 4. In preparation for this movie, I only watched John Wick 2 and 3. I knew I had to watch John Wick 3, so I did that, and I decided to watch John Wick 2 as well. I've seen John Wick 1 a million times. It's an awesome movie. It's one of my favorite action movies. And then John Wick 4, I need to rewatch again, and I want to rewatch again for 2 reasons. 1, because I'm hype on this franchise again, and 2, I want to make a ranking video. So If you are interested in seeing my ranking of the franchise, make sure to like and subscribe. And I am going to make a ranking after I rewatch John Wick 4, so I really know what my ranking is. Leave a comment down below. What did you think of Ballerina? Did you love it like me? Do you think it lives up to the John Wick standards? Would you like a sequel? Are you excited for more John Wick universe spin-offs? I think that I heard that they plan to make more spin-offs in the future. One being the Kane character from John Wick 4. Again, I know I said they can't have guy characters, blah blah. I do remember that character being really, really cool. I've only seen John Wick 4 once in theaters. I haven't rewatched it since. Gotta rewatch it again, and I'm sure when I get into my ranking video, I will give all my thoughts on him and the possibilities of a spin-off with him. But I do remember thinking that was a really, really cool character, and I am excited to see a possible spinoff after seeing Ballerina, seeing, okay, they can make really good action movies in this universe that doesn't have Keanu Reeves' John Wick as the focal point. So again, comment down below what you thought, and we'll talk about it. I am hype on this franchise, and I'm hype on this movie, so I'm excited to hear what you guys have to say about it. Like and subscribe for more content.